I see didn't need to change the core assembly, just some of the website files. So if at all possible, try to stay away from it. If you can't, document it. All right, that's going to make your life upgrading much easier. All right. So right now it's asking for the host user. All right, there's a host user and there's an admin user. Can anybody tell me what the host user is? Yes.
Person who's going to have the .NET on their server.
Well,
when people log in, the host is not responsible for maintaining the site. They're just essentially hosting it. They have it. They're holding it for you.
You can think of it in terms of that. When we talk about .NET Nuke host users, what we're more referring to is the host user is the person that can manage everything on all instances of all portals for this installation. Okay, so the host user, if somebody compromises your host user account, they own every single site that you have on that instance. All right, so you always want to protect this very much. And so that being said, never log in with the host account unless you have SSL credentials or unless you really need to do something that only a host account can do. All right. Yes, sir.
Just a little comment about the host account. A host account, you can install modules.
Oh, that's true.
An admin, you can't.
I was going to go over the some of the admin menu and the host menu later.
If the host sets up the admin permissions for the admin to install skins on the particular portal that admin is administrating, then the admin can install skins, but the admin cannot install a module. Only the host can, and then the host makes that module available to that portal.
Or not available.
Or not available.
All right. Yeah. Well, in a little bit, once we go through the upgrade, I'll time permitting. Well, I'm not going to run into the next guy. He doesn't care. But I'll give you a quick rundown of the admin menu and the host menu and the differences of what the admin sees and the host doesn't. All right. So I'm going to give some information here for the host account. By default, host is in that text box field. If you leave it that and you log in as a host, you're going to get this nasty little message in your little top saying, "Hey, you're using a known account that's used for, so for security purposes, change it." All right. So I typically use for my host account webmaster. No, I typically use web. So I'm going to just say, I don't know. I usually say something. I'll just go ahead and use webmaster. All right. So I'm going to give a real quick password, nothing crazy here, and
what's that password? We can't quite read it.
It's dot. Yes. All right. Okay. Oh, you probably want to put your first and last name in here. All right. Next. Ooh, 7 characters. Hold on. It just told me I have to have at least 7 characters in my password. That's modifiable in your web config if you want to change that. But 7 characters or more is a good thing. All right, so we're at the next step. We created our host user. Now it's showing us all these modules that are available to us. The ones that you see grayed out, you have to install. Okay, they're already done. Now for people, once you get more advanced, you'll find out that you can alter that, but we'll leave that alone for now. Okay. The ones that you see not checked and not grayed out, you can choose to install that now, or you can choose not to by just leaving it unchecked. I'm going to go ahead and check the survey module just to change something here, and I'm going to go ahead and click next. All right. Is there any questions on that page? I just kind of went over that quickly. Okay. Next thing is authentication services. We got Active Directory and card space that are optional. We got Live ID and Open ID that are already installed for us. Okay, so if you want to add to the web forms authentication and give people option to use another one of these other ones, or a third-party one that you buy, or maybe one you wrote, there is a way to make this show up in here, or later on you can install it. Yes, sir.
Just a quick question. Say I decided I want to go back and since I've already installed the .NETNuke and everything's set, I log in under admin. I guess. Where can I find where I can install these other modules?
We'll show you that in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and click next here. I'm not going to install these other providers.
One thing I'd like to comment on with what Will was just going through, again, this is a custom installation. You saw the module that you can select from. And if you want to go through this custom thing, you can, and I think it's highly recommended as you're getting introduced to .NET and using it. But don't install all those modules.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Don't install all of them. For the interim, when you first load it, don't install it. Like Will said, he'll show you how to install them later. because it does affect performance, and we'll be sitting here waiting a lot longer.
Almost every single one of those modules comes with a DLL, all right? And that DLL gets dropped into your bin folder. Once your site executes and gets loaded into memory, every single one of those DLLs are loaded into memory as well, all right? So if you want your site to be scalable, you want to not install things that you don't need, all right?
If you need them, install them, by all means, obviously. If you don't need them, you don't need the DLL in your bin folder.
All right, so now our next step is to install optional skins and containers. There's nothing in here unless you drop it in there. I've been able to see the beta version of the version 5 of .NETNuke, and that one actually has some optional skins and containers for you to choose from, but this doesn't.
What's a container? Oh, we already answered that.
I can tell you.
I guess I didn't understand. No, that's all right.
Since you were in the last session, I didn't make this joke, but I was going to make this joke with this here. He was trying to find a way to work it into his presentation. The last session was SharePoint, if anybody didn't know. And there's always a little jib-jab with SharePoint, .NETNuke. And I was going to, come up here and say, okay, who's used SharePoint? And they'll say, okay, you get to sit up in front. All right. Okay, so next is language packs. Once again, if they're already installed, I get to choose from them. All right. So just like you said before, all this stuff gets skipped if you just choose typical installation, but you get to see everything that's going on right now. Portal administrator, this is important. This is not the host. So this is somebody that can manage the entire portal instance of this particular portal that's getting installed right now. All right. When you add another portal later on, or if you do, that will need a different admin account.
Can they be the same?
Kind of.
Okay.
There is a problem with that because of authentication. I think it's fixed in this version, but we can try that. I know I've had problems with that in the past. If it's the same exact username, sometimes there's a problem with the membership provider.
Okay. Yeah, it's just one more entry in the password name list.
So username, I'm just going to put me in there. I'm going to leave it the defaults here for portal title. You'd obviously want to put something more meaningful there. Template, if there's other templates in there, you can be able to choose from them. The default obviously is .NETNuke. And I'm going to click Next. Okay, congratulations. Well, that was a little bit painless, right? I'm going to go to my site. So right now it's refreshing all its cache, so this is going to take a moment. It's it went through the installation, so right now it's going to refresh all its cache. So there's all kinds of things that are cached in the background. So while we wait for this, any more questions?
I want to talk about the username. Well,
Yes, go ahead. Oh, well, yeah, there you go. No talk for you. All right. So when you first install a .NETNuke site, unless you've modified it, oh look, and that uses web services, so that's why that's happening. I don't have internet here, and that meaning those little internet browser page can't be found. All right. When you first install it, you're going to have all this stuff on here, the sponsors and whatnot. It's telling you what the default login. They actually should take this out because now you can change that. But actually, no, not if you do auto. Never mind. So all this stuff is here. You can usually just delete it all. So this is the installation of .NETNuke. Who here can't do that? Come on, raise your hand. You know you can.
It's also one of the reasons some of those, what you see up there are some of the reasons that some of those modules were grayed out. You cannot not install them because they need them for the default template.
Good point. Exactly. All right. No questions on that. Okay.
So when you're logged in as the host, you can just X out of modules like right here. Is that what those little things in the corner are?
I'll show you that in just a moment.
Okay.
Exactly. Oh. I just realized I installed the wrong one.
What?
The wrong portal. I meant to install 483, not 484, so I can do the upgrade.
So,
Hold on a second.
yeah, you can't go to 4.9 either.
I can't download it.
You downloaded 4.9 on your machine?
Not today. But let me double check. But the install is pretty quick. I can do it one more time. Actually, that'd be good because I can show you how to wipe out the DNN instance.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, I didn't download it. All right. So, what's it take to wipe out a DNN instance? First thing is to restart IIS. I have this nifty little batch file here that I use because it makes sure you don't have to do anything crazy. It just makes sure no matter what, boom, everything's done. All right, it'll take just a moment. And if you don't do that, you won't be able to delete all your files in your file system.